video, I will be making beef a la mode from Mastering the Art of French Cooking Volume 1 by Julia Child, published in 1961. I've cooked from this book in a previous video, so no need for a long review. This book is a fantastic addition to any collection and a culinary classic. The recipes are sometimes complicated and hard to follow because of the way the book organizes the ingredients versus the instructions, but it's hard to deny it's a good book that has stood the test of time from the results of the recipes, whether it's a dessert like La Marley or a savory dish like filet de poisson à la parisienne. If you like old school recipes, or if you like French hot cuisine, this is a must-have in any library or collection. Okay, here is our setup for our beef a la mode. Fair warning, this is definitely a longer recipe. It's going to be a longer video. This is a special occasion meal, in my opinion. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, big holiday, family reunion, something like that. So just be warned, there's a lot of steps to this. And there's a lot of ingredients too. So we have arrowroot powder, we have carrots, we have beef stock, onion, brandy, bay leaf, garlic, flat leaf parsley or Italian parsley, port or Madeira, Côtes du Rhône wine, fresh thyme, pork lard, celery, olive oil, pearl onions. These are beef's feet, which will give body to the gravy for the beef a la mode. And this is our bottom round roast. There are a few different cuts you can use for this that are outlined in the book, but I'm using a bottom round roast. So that's all of the ingredients. There's two main steps to this. One of them is the marinade, which will be for 6 to 24 hours, and then the actual cooking, which this is a long cooked dish because you really want to get that beef nice and tender. So, all right, let's hop into the marinade. The first thing we're going to do is to marinate our beef, and so to do that, we're going to take about half of the vegetables and just go ahead and put them in the bottom of our pot here. And because these are just marinating vegetables, you don't have to chop them super fine. And we can go ahead and put our other spices in here as well. So need to make sure those cloves got in there. Got both of them. Okay, so go ahead and just spread that out evenly. And now we're going to take our beef and we're going to put that whole thing in here on top. Now we're going to rub the top with some salt and pepper. And just get that rubbed in there good. All right, and now we're just going to put the rest of our vegetables on top. Making a little bit of a mess here, but I will wipe down as soon as we're done with this, so it's all right. Okay, we got everything in there now. Now we're just going to go ahead and put our liquids in now for the marinade. So this is our Côtes du Rhône. It does also recommend some other wines, a Chianti or a Burgundy or a Macon. Any of those would be fine. I happen to like the Côtes du Rhône, so that's just what I picked for this. And then we're going to put about a third cup of brandy in as well. And And then we're going to put a half a cup of olive oil. Okay, and that's it for making the marinade. Okay, our marinade time was done, and so now we're going to brown the beef on all sides, which is what I'm doing here. I melted about 4 to 6 tablespoons of lard in the Dutch oven, and now we're just going to continue to cook it until all of the sides of the beef are browned, and then I'll show you guys the next thing to do after that. Okay, our beef is browned, and now we are going to remove the beef for a minute here. To the plate. And actually, we're going to pour out this beef fat. Okay, now we're going to deglaze this pan with our marinade juices. So go ahead and pour all that in. Go ahead and you always, whenever you're dealing with enamel or any sort of metal, use wooden or plastic utensils. But I'm just going to kind of scrape this down a little bit. But that stops them from scratching, because plastic in general won't scratch. So, all right, we want that to get up to a boil, so we're gonna let that go for a second here. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and return our beef to the oven here. And we can go ahead and add our beef feet in as well. Obviously, we're not going to eat the beef feet. They're just going to give body to the gravy and to the juices. This is also why we removed the fat that we fried there, or that we browned the beef in, is because there's going to be plenty of fat from other things, and so we don't want just this to be a huge amount of fat in here. So we've got that going, and then the last thing to do is to add some beef stock to get it up and above the liquid, up so that it's completely covering. Okay, I boiled off the alcohol and then topped off the liquid again, and I've turned it down now to a low simmer, and I'm just going to put the lid on this oven, and I'm just going to let this go for about 3 hours until the meat is really, really tender. So this is like a slow cooker. So, all right, I will see you guys when we get to that point. While our beef is cooking, we're going to go ahead and cook the carrots that are going to go with our beef a la mode. So these carrots, I've already peeled and chopped them, and they're in 1.5 cups of water. And then we're going to put about a tablespoon of sugar in there, and about 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to cook that on medium-high heat. And we're just going to let that cook for like 40 minutes and let the water evaporate. And then when it's done, you can just set it aside. And that's all there is to it. And then we'll use them later. So just wanted to show you that part. A little bit of salt and pepper also, obviously. As with most things, you always want to put seasoning on them. So, okay, on to the next step. All right, we're also going to go ahead and pre-cook our pearl onions as well. So go ahead and put a little oil in there. We're going to put about a cup of red wine. That's probably a little more than a cup, but that's all right. because these are not going to, the whole liquid is not going to go in, just the cooked onions are going to go in. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of butter. And throw a bay leaf. These are small, I'll do a couple of bay leaves. And some thyme. And we're just going to let that also cook and let these slowly cook and saute for about 40 to 50 minutes until they're tender as well. Okay, our meat is done, and so we're going to go ahead and remove it to the serving platter. And I will put a aluminum foil. Man, that looks really good. I'll put aluminum foil over the top to keep it warm. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to strain all of this out and retain the liquid and put the liquid back in the pot. But we're going to strain all the solid matter out of this, and then we're going to turn it into our gravy. Okay, lots of things going all at once here. I've strained the gravy and I've returned it to a bubble. And I mixed 2 tablespoons of port wine with 1 tablespoon of arrowroot powder. And that's going to now go into the gravy. This is just to help thicken it a little bit. And we're just going to cook this for about another 10 to 15 minutes to get this to evaporate some and for the gravy to actually thicken as well. And that will go over the top of our beef. At this point also you want to taste it for salt and pepper to make sure that it's the right amount that you want. And then we'll assemble everything and we'll have dinner. Okay, we're almost at the finish line here. So our gravy has been cooking for about 10 minutes. Our onions and our carrots are done. So we're gonna go ahead and for 2 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and put the serving vegetables in just to mix all of the flavors together. And actually not put the juice in there. Okay, we're going to let that cook for about 2 minutes and then we're going to be done. All right, we have cooked our vegetables and now we're just going to remove them and add them to the plate with our beef. So, okay, I'm going to finish removing all these vegetables and getting them arranged here, and I'll see you guys at the finale. Okay, and here is our beef a la mode. I finished it with a little bit of the gravy from the pot, just to keep it juicy and warm and to give it some of the aromatics and flavors that are in the gravy. Of course, when you serve it individually, people can add as much gravy as they would like. And I finished with a little bit of Italian parsley on the top, just to give it a little bit of fresh green vibrancy on the plate. And so, yeah, this is an old school French recipe. It's a very special occasion meal, and I think you should try it. It's really good. So if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe, and I will see you at the next video.